Welcome at Hays Triangle Talk. For our third season already, we thought about doing something special. So today we are in the Horta building of the Comic Arts Museum in Brussels, where the Total Workforce Summit is taking place, a collaboration between Hays Belgium and Nextconomy. During this conference, company leaders and labor market experts are talking about, no surprise, a total workforce and everything that comes with it. For example, RPO, MSP, VMS. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, don't worry. Our guests of today are very happy to explain to you what a total workforce is, how to manage it, how to start it, and how outsourcing solutions can help you. Tina, Marleen, welcome in the Comic Art Museum in Brussels. Thank you for participating in the third season of our podcast. We'll dive right into it, and we'll start with you, Tina.
Okay.
I think it's not a secret that we are living in a time of talent shortage, skills shortage. So, is it time for companies to stop or to start looking beyond the traditional way of recruiting or the traditional mix of contracts being mostly perm, for example, mostly perm contracts? So is it time to start focusing on a mix of more flexible contracts?
Yes, I mean, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, what I see working with clients, different skill sets, different environments lend themselves to different contract types. And I think some of this is actually, it's the skill sets, but it's also candidate behaviour as well that you have to think about. And in some of the types of skills, I think, that companies are trying to hire, quite often there feels like, we have to hire these people permanently, but your challenge is the actual candidates themselves, they don't want to be hired permanently. They want to portfolio work. So I think that if you open up your mind and you start to think about the different options, then yes, you will be able to acquire the skills, but you absolutely have to think about it a little bit differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marleen, how can a company start thinking about that or start implementing a more flexible workforce? Where should they start?
Well, first of all, they have to realize and look at their numbers. How many of our perm workers are perm? There's been a recent study in Belgium here where the conclusion was that 1 of 6 new perm contracts left the company after 6 months. That's a lot. So perm isn't perm. It's not perm on the side of companies. They fire people constantly. But it's not perm on the workers' side either anymore because, of course, there is a lot of work and they risk not so much. So I think like Tina said, and I completely agree with her, the contract form is just an administrative detail. You need the best talent on board, and you need to engage any talent, be it on the pay list or not. So you have to engage people, make them part of your culture, bring them your views, your insights, your challenges, and use their knowledge and their experience. And if they're on the payroll or not is not so important.
Yeah.
So it starts with knowing where is the talent in the labor market and how do we reach that talent? How do we get in touch with them?
Yeah.
Is it via intermediate partners? Is it directly? I'll give you an example. I challenge any company in Belgium to look at their website and to see the vacancies. You have to look for perm vacancies. It's usually you have to click 2 or 3 buttons, and then you only see perm vacancies.
Yeah.
Why is there never anything for flexible labor? Some projects are 3-4 years. That's very interesting, can be very interesting for freelancers or for vendors to submit candidates. But there's no button. So, how can they be aware that these vacancies are there?
So it's a bit about, or a lot about changing mindset.
It's really the traditional way of working in
It's
HR
over.
doesn't apply anymore.
Yeah. But of course, it does sound complex when you start thinking about a mix of contract forms, for example, to manage it, because you're working with perm, temp, contractors, outsourced employees, etc. I can imagine that not every company is fit to handle that, or not yet, at least. Is it a good option to take on an intermediary, as you said, Marleen, or an external partner? And what can they do for you, Tina?
Yeah, I mean, I think, as you said, you've got traditional ways of thinking about things, and then you have the complexity of the different contracts sitting side by side. I mean, one could argue it's not complex. It's just a question of actually understanding what does that mean, understanding what is the labour policy, what are the equal treatment areas, and what are the things that need to be identified as separate to make sure that we're operating compliantly. And I think that's a great role to bring in a partner to help. So I mean, you've obviously got, you might have an advisory partner on the legal elements, of course, but actually coming to an outsourced services provider for staffing solutions would be able to give you a really good framework and guidance on how to operate, and then some help as well, because I think the thing that's really enabling any organisation at this moment is the HR technology that's available. So, and again, some support and some guidance on how to configure and how best to use that technology to enable the business. So then you're making the right decisions, and the decisions are easy to make if you enable in the right way using this.
Yeah. You agree?
I agree, absolutely. If you want to speed up as an organization, you have almost no other option. Procurement lacks the knowledge. HR is completely, they lack all the knowledge of the entire workforce. So, if you want to speed up, you need a third party to help you understand what is your problem, what's your current problem, and what are the challenges in the labor market, and how can you turn these challenges and issues into opportunities and make them your strategy for talent management.
Yeah. And does bringing in an external partner mean giving up control of the whole recruitment process, or can you say like just take this segment of the procedure or just look into this? So is it giving up all control, or can you divide tasks?
It's an interesting use of the word control, because actually to me, control is quite an older word. I think it's enable. And actually, what are you doing when you bring in a partner? I mean, the fact that you're bringing in a partner is somebody to work alongside you. And I think that's really important as well, to see it like that, because if you see it as control to a supplier, I think, it's not the most lens that's going to help you. So no, I don't see it like that. And I think it's the elements. So you can ask a partner to support you with the end-to-end process, or you can take modules of the process. So it could be, development of what's your EVP. It could be help with some screening. It can be identification of where the talent. There's any point in the process you could actually bring in a partner and ask a partner to support you with.
I think giving up it's so negative.
Sorry.
It's really collaborating together, join forces. As an organization, be it HR, procurement, or together, your organization, and understand your challenges, and your workforce, etc. But then you have the external partner who knows the labor market, who knows all about solutions. They bring in all this knowledge, and if you join forces, then you move on and you can grow to the final and the ideal situation. Yeah.
Okay. Final question, but I think I know the answer, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Is the total workforce solution the future?
Absolutely. I don't think there is any other option. I'm really convinced. Yes.
I see it. I see the journey to it is probably we need to accelerate it. So I think getting to it will be slower than we need it to be. What I see, the technology, the development of technology and the emergence of some of the technologies, I think is going to really help us get to this faster. But without a doubt, where we have skills shortages, I think something absolutely has to change to enable businesses to continue to thrive and compete.
Yeah, it's not only skills shortage, but also the talent itself, that they really want to work in different ways. They want to work in Indonesia or whatever faraway country. And that's fine, if that's the place where they are and they want to work for you and you want them to work for you, then solve it. Just think in solutions and not in issues and problems.
Yeah. That's a good advice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.